Hello everyone and welcome back to Cupid Parasite. We are continuing straight from the last episode. I've paused for 5 seconds and now we're back into it. So Allan it's called The Last Time We Pretend. So the effects of the arrow is going to wear off. Allan's going to try to get her to fall in love with someone else because Allan is corrupting her, killing her. We don't really know what's happening to her, only that her power is weakening. And he's going to do something drastic because that's how the last episode ended. There's a lot of sections left. Wow. I really haven't gotten very far in Allan's route. It feels like I've been on Allan's route forever, but we're not even halfway there yet. By the end of this episode, we'll be about halfway. There's 3 save files in this one, and then we're going to do the 2 common route. I'm going to put the common route endings with Allan's endings. So that one will be extra long. But I think you have to do those 2 endings before you can even access the secret route. And that'll be a choice available whenever you, I think, start the game. But anyway, enough about secret route. Let's go back into Allan. She's waking up. Morning already. Woke up feeling everything but refreshed. I had a splitting headache and it took me forever to feel fully awake. I didn't have a dream. Allan was supposed to eat my dream, but maybe he didn't go through with it. I think I recall him saying that he would be fine without going a meal for a day. Without warning, the door slowly swung open. I looked towards the door, assuming Allan would be standing there, but instead it was Gil who came strolling through.
おはよう。よかった。目が覚めたんだね。朝ごはん作ってやるよ。
Gil, you stayed for me?
そりゃ、君が心配だから。
What about Allan?
もちろん帰ったよ。
I see.
起きた？私は会社行くから。今日は大事をとって休んでね。ギル置いてくから。
I wonder if he's working with Claris to make her fall in love with Gil. Claris popped in for a second and then left waving her hand.
そうだね。今日はゆっくり休んで。俺はちょうど今割と仕事も落ち着いてるし、一日中看病するよ。
Is he just a writer in this one? I think he is. What? It's okay, you don't have to do that. I'm pretty sure I was just tired.
ならなおさらダメだよ。過労は侮れないんだよ。ほらほら、君はベッドから出ないで。ここに朝ごはん持ってくるから。
You know, I'm recalling one of Gil's bad endings where he just like waits on her constantly as she gets lazy and overweight and stops carrying on life. He scolded me for my stubbornness and then left the room. He always makes such a fuss over nothing. Still, I've never collapsed like that before, so I guess I understand why he might be worried. I sighed deeply, my head was pounding, I ached all over, and I was pretty sure I was running a fever. I had no idea goddesses could get so exhausted. Turning into a human, probably. Of course, only the Diconstantants have divine knowledge about the gods themselves, along with humans. A low-level goddess like me just does what she's told. Celestia is almost like one of those awful corporations I've heard about.
はい、お待たせ。さあ、しっかりご飯食べよう。
Gil came in carrying more food than I could possibly handle. Gil, there's no way I'll be able to eat all of that.
え、でもほら、たくさん食べないと元気にならないかなって。
Oh, he's so considerate. Well, I appreciate the thought. I'll eat what I can. He handed me a spoon and I started off with the chicken noodle soup. So good. This is exactly what you need when you're not feeling good. It reminded me of the time Gil took care of me the day I was feeling woozy after Claris and I had gone out the night before. The gentle combination of flavors from the chicken, veggies, and broth started to warm up my insides. Gil went out of his way to come help me. He always listens to what I have to say. Oh, wait, what Claris has to say? Oh, he always listens to what Claris has to say. You must really like her to value her opinion so highly. He really is the lovelorn parasite after all. Then I have to help Gil with this. Back to this. He may not be a member anymore, but he's still my friend. I gently brushed my fingers and kissed my Cupid's bow pendant. Once I'm promoted and prove myself to Dad, maybe I can use this bow and arrow to see if things still works. Oh, this thing still works. Speaking of which, the effects of that arrow should be wearing off soon. 25 days have passed since Allan's first ate my dream. Just 5 more days and I'll be free from my own arrow's power. Thinking about what might happen on day 30 makes me nervous. I know, I'd be nervous too. Like, I really want to stay in love with Allan, but will I? Well, my feelings towards him disappear. I may be Cupid, but I don't really know how my powers actually work. I wish I could stay in love with him forever. Feeling in love for the first time was such an incredible moment. But Allan keep feeding all my dreams if I stay in love with him. And will he kiss me? I wish that he would. I wonder where he is right now. I guess he's probably at work. It is business hours after all. I need to get better so I can go and see him. But I couldn't just shake that drowsy feeling I had all morning. I watched her through the window, but instead of going to her, I made my way to the roof of the building.
回復しないな。
I used my demon's eye to steal a glimpse of her soul's color. Her life energy had clearly been declining ever since that day. There was no signs of recovery. It's all my fault. I should have noticed the condition her soul was in earlier.
何やってるんだ俺は。目の前のあの子に気を取られて、恋人ごっこに入れ込んだりして、どうして目的に徹していられなかったんだ。
I've been mimicking humans this whole time and looking at her with human eyes. I never noticed the subtle change in her. It was the kind of anomaly I would have detected immediately if I made use of my demonic abilities. But I wasn't able to do that, all because of my selfish desire to pretend to be human while she was around.
今さら人間ぶったところで意味ないじゃないか。
I've done enough damage. There's no turning back the clock. I've sinned enough to be considered a greater demon at this point.
どうすれば治るんだ。俺が離れれば良くなると思ってたのに。
But in the end, even that failed. I'm completely worthless. Nothing has changed since the time she was in college. Oh?
あの頃、ギルと恋人にさせる努力をもっとすればよかった。
But I just couldn't do it. I always felt like I was too tainted to be near her. So sometimes I would manipulate others to make the two of them become closer. I set incidents into motion, hoping they would force the two of them into each other's arms. But nothing happened. She was tougher than I thought. She clearly had no interest in falling in love. The time went by and nothing changed. And now the end has come. Normally there'd be more time even after the effects of Cupid's arrow expired. But I feasted on her power too much. I've gotten too close to her. So now we're all out of time. She should have another 400 years. Instead, it's all about to end.
キューピッドの矢の効果が切れるのはあと3日。その日にやるしかない。
I'm getting really anxious over here. I'll have to enact my final plan. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I have no other choice. What is your plan?
彼女自身を生かすために。
Oh my goodness. What? Can't kill her? Oh no. A few days later. Oh my goodness. I can't keep reading after that. Okay. We're just back to happy music. I think I might be feeling better. I did a quick evaluation after I finished the breakfast that Gil had made for me.
よかった。顔色もだいぶ良くなってきたね。
Thanks. I think I'll probably be able to head back to work tomorrow. You have a meeting today, right? Don't worry about me.
まあそうだけど、でも 君を一人にするのは心配だな。
I'm okay, I promise. You saw me devouring breakfast, right? I've got leftovers for lunch if I get hungry. I'll take it easy today, I promise. Okay?
そっか。なら、行かせてもらおうかな。夜ご飯までには帰るから。
Okay, have a good day. Despite my reassurances, he couldn't stop himself from checking the fridge to make sure. But finally he managed to get out the door. I couldn't help but sigh at his constant need to fawn over me. I wish he'd relax once in a while. I probably could have gone to work, but since I had a fever the night before, I decided to call in sick just to be safe. After collapsing at work, it's only natural everyone is worried about me. But all I wanted was to get back to work. As long as I was stuck at home, I couldn't stop myself from thinking about Allan. I wonder what he's doing right now. He didn't come to see me once the entire 5 days I was sick. Oh, it's been 5 days? How many days are left? You said there was 5 days left. Is this the 5th day? I thought maybe he stopped by once I was sleeping, but when I asked Gil, he said he hadn't had any visitors. I guess he must really be busy. I touched my Cupid's bow pendant. The arrow's influence is set to wear off today. Yep, it's been 5 days. Okay, she's been sick for 5 days. I imagine it'll happen tonight at the same time that I shot it originally. All I wanted was to be with Allan when that moment came. I wanted to know if my feelings would really change. And if my love for him did still remain, I wanted to be able to tell him so. At that moment, the doorbell rang. I thought it might be Gil, so I opened the door and my heart leapt into my throat. Standing before me was my one true love. Allan.
Yeah. 具合はどう?
Much better now. I'm glad you came by. I hugged him and breathed in the scent of the one I loved. It was the scent of a man, the scent of my first...
顔色は悪くないね。
Yeah, I pretty much just slept for 5 days straight, so I'm okay now. I took today off just in case. Allan? I tried to reassure him I was fine, but he didn't seem to believe me. He probably thinks I'm still sick and I'm just trying to hide it. Really, you don't have to worry about me. I'm sure I'll be able to head back to work tomorrow.
そっか。じゃあさ、これから一緒にデートしない?
Well, that's gonna make Gil all worried. You want me to?
あ、今夜には効果がなくなるだろう。だからさ、最後に君とデートしたいって思ったんだ。
I feel like he has ulterior motives to this. One last date, because the arrow's effect will disappear tonight. Allan obviously hadn't forgotten exactly how much time we had left. In that moment, I kind of wished he had forgotten. That way, maybe I could convince myself that the effect wasn't gone. I thought that if I continued to love him even after today, he could keep feeding on my dreams. But he remembered, which meant our love would come to an end that night. Allan, thank you. I'd like nothing more than to go all around the city with you. If today is all we had left, then I want to see all of Lost York.
路山用苦渋か。じゃあ車を。
No, I'd rather go on a bike ride together.
病み上がりだろ?
Maybe, but if it's our last date together, I don't want anything to hold us back. I want to see all of your expressions and reactions that I've missed these past 30 days. That you've missed? After all, this might be our last night together, right? I really did want to see as much of the city with him as I could. I held his gaze, and after a moment, he gave me a small nod.
わかった。それがマイハニーの望みなら。
We rented a pair of bicycles and began our journey around Lost York. First off, the museum. We'd never actually been to the museum together. We parked our bikes and went inside. Last time I was here was with Rao. I felt like I'd probably have a different experience this time.
へえ。美術館って中はこうなってるんだ。神々しい雰囲気だね。 さすが絵画には神の絵が多いだけある。
Look, there's a painting of a demon. So that seems to be a pretty popular theme for humans. Maybe there's a painting of you.
いや、それはないと思うけど。
I know. Which demon are you? Are you a popular demon? Oh, look at that. It's a painting by Botticelli. Doesn't Mom look amazing?
君の絵もあるよ。すっぽんぽんだけどさ。
Of course he would say naked. It's a boy Cupid though, right? Yeah. What?
でも君の裸とは似ても似つかないね。だってもっと足も長いし、出るとこ出て。
Way bigger. Not so loud. You're embarrassing me. There's like a creepy figure like in the top right corner of that. It looks like a demon, but it's probably not. We talked about silly everyday things and wandered through the museum just like any other couple. There were paintings of terrifying demons and divine gods. There were also paintings of humans and beautiful landscapes. Together we took them all in. After enjoying everything the museum had to offer, we went to Los York in search of food. In the park, we bought lunch from a hot dog cart. After we finished, we found the stand selling bubble tea and we each got a cup. So good.
君から食べたいって言うなんて、君も相当バブルティーが好きになったんだね。
She loves it because you love it.
でも、さっき昼食取ったばっかりなのに。食欲旺盛なのはいいけど、体調は平気？食べ過ぎてお腹壊さない？
I like it. He's just having casual conversation about her sickness where he knows exactly what it is. It's not nausea.
少しでも体調が悪かったら、すぐに言ってくれ。めまいはしない？
I'm fine, I swear. But thank you for worrying about me. Besides, this is your favorite, right? I just wanted to enjoy some together with you. It's kind of sour, but I like it.
だろ？この酸味の良さが伝わって、俺も嬉しいよ。
Actually, bubble tea is really sweet. But I didn't feel the need to tell him that. It was enough for me to have a secret about him that only I knew about. I saw it as proof that I was the only one who really understood him, so I decided not to correct him. After all, we're in love, right? It's really natural to want to keep all of your lover's secrets to yourself, right? That's cute. As we finished our bubble tea, we came to the main stretch of 7th Avenue. We noticed a furniture store and patted on like a couple of newlyweds.
あ、今の店ちょっと見ていい？
This one here.
ああ、このイーグルのライト、俺の部屋に合うと思わない？
I think so. Don't you already have an eagle lamp, or some kind of bird lamp at least?
ああ、あれはフラミンゴだよ。結構ライトが明るかったからさ、少し抑えたものが欲しかったんだよね。
I see, but the flamingo lamp is so cute. Everything gets all pink when you turn it on. Maybe you can put them together. I think that would be super adorable.
でも、それじゃあ眩しすぎるだろう。君が夜寝るときに寝にく。
Realizing what he was saying, Allan just looked at me. Jackson were off today, so we wouldn't be spending any more nights together.
いや、そうだね。並べてもいいかも。でも、今日は荷物になるから、買うのはまた今度にするよ。
I don't think he has an ulterior motive anymore. I think he just wants to spend as much time with her as possible before the end comes, as he says.
あっちのアクセサリー屋行ってもいい？俺、ピアス見るの好きなんだよね。
Yeah, let's go. I was hoping to stop in there myself. Maybe I can find something that looks good on me. We both stuffed down our feelings and just went on as if we were a normal, happy couple. The moment that we couldn't pretend anymore was fast approaching. We realized that discussion of any possible future together was off limits. I wish I can just sleep in Allan's room tonight, tomorrow night, and the night after that. That's what I wanted to say, but I'd much rather express those feelings in a more romantic situation. So I bid farewell to the eagle in my heart, and we walked on. Allan mentioned me falling asleep without thinking because I'd gotten used to falling asleep in his bed every night. But that wasn't going to happen anymore, so he had to swallow his words. And in doing that, I could feel his compassion for me. I truly love him. I love that his kindness towards me came so naturally. Little moments like this are how shared stories are built. But I knew it just meant that tonight would be even more painful. Allan, if I tell you that I love you tonight, will you believe me? Will we become true lovers? You're getting me all anxious thinking about it. After that, we arrived at the local amusement park. I couldn't help asking to come here. I'd always wanted to visit an amusement park with someone I liked.
コンスタンティンの館？ホーンテッドハウスか何かか？
Grab a shotgun and take out all the breeze demons before they can reach you.
シューティングゲームか。クォーターブリーズなんて悪魔聞いたこともないけど。
So we fight a bunch of demons that not even a fellow demon has heard of. Isn't that exciting? Let's try it.
君、可愛いの平気なの？
Sure, as long as I've got you by my side.
まあ、本物の悪魔が隣にいりゃ、偽物の悪魔なんて怖くないか。
A greater demon at that. We kept joking around with each other as we checked out the other attractions. But even while we were having fun, he still kept asking if I was okay and made sure to take lots of breaks while we walked.
ほら、ジュースを買ってきたから、少し休んで。
Gil's gonna come back for dinner. She's gonna be gone. Thank you, Allan. But we already took a break earlier, so I'm fine to keep going.
まあ、人間は確か塩気のあるものがいいんだっけ。ポップコーン買ってこようか。
Well, at least he knows popcorn is salty, right?
ああ、いやでも食べ過ぎか。さっきもバブルティー飲んだし。でも飲んでからもう3時間は経過してるか。でも人間ってどれぐらいで腹が減るんだ？
He's really trying to figure this out.
もうお腹減った？
It's so cute watching him trying to go through all of this. You're starting to act like Gil. It's fine. I'm feeling really good right now.
でも心配なんだ。君が突然消えちゃわないかさ。
Maybe he doesn't know what's going to happen the moment it wears off. Maybe he really thinks she will disappear. You worry too much. I'm not going to just suddenly take off back to Celestia out of nowhere. He's like, I don't know about that. Allan had been holding my hand tight the entire time as though he might lose me the instant he lets go. Hey, let's go on that roller coaster. I've always wanted to give it a try. Without warning, I felt my legs start to buckle. I was about to collapse. Ew, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. I just felt faint all of a sudden. Allan pulled me to him tightly, his lips a thin line of worry.
君は温かいな。
So are you. I buried my head in his chest and heard him let out a pain sigh.
本当にそうなのか？
Huh?
いや、なんでもない。ほら、それよりジェットコースターはやめて、カフェにでも入ろう。
What? Come on, I'm fine.
今倒れそうになったんだ。無茶はやめてくれ。ほら、行くよ。
Allan took my hand and led me away. Why is he being so overprotective today? The whole time I was sick and sleeping it off, he never came to see me once. We arrived at the beach just as the sun started to set. We returned our bikes to the rental shop and strolled down the beach hand in hand. We didn't have a destination in mind. We were just walking. The sand felt nice beneath my feet, and it also made me a little sad. The sunset is so beautiful.
Ah,
I had an amazing time today. Thank you, Allan.
それはよかった。
His hand gripped mine even tighter. His warmth pierced my heart. Sunset, which means it's almost time for Cupid's arrow to wear off. I had an early shift that day, so I would have shot the arrow around 7:30 p.m. When the night falls and time comes, I'll turn back into a Cupid that doesn't know love. How am I going to feel about him once the arrow's influence disappears? I'm terrified at finding out. I wish that time never had to come. That's why I'm talking to him as if I'd forgotten. I just want to tell him to forget all of it and keep going the way we have been. So, Allan, what do you want to eat tonight?
夜食?
He wants to eat you. Yeah, let's eat somewhere really amazing. It's funny because, like, demons don't eat food. Like hamburgers or fried chicken. Or a nice thick steak sounds good too, don't you think?
ずいぶんがっつりしたものがいいんだね。
Since I've just been eating sick food the last few days, I want something that'll give me some real energy.
そっか。そうだね。元気の出るものを一緒に食べよう。
This is kind of sad in its own way, because it's like when someone's like on their deathbed, you think of things that you want to do together in the future to pretend like the end's not coming, even though they both know it is. So it's like the same thing. It's like they're, oh yeah, what do you want to do tomorrow? Like, not even know if tomorrow's going to be there. It's kind of in that sense that they're talking. Like, I could hear a slight tremble in his voice. It was telling me that the moment would never come. I couldn't think of anything to say in response, so I couldn't keep pretending. Yeah, see? She even notices it. Maybe because our time was so short now, anything we said about the future seemed to carry that much more weight. Maybe he thinks that as soon as the arrow wears off, I'll vanish from his side. That's exactly what he thinks. I should make a proper declaration of love. I should tell him that even after the arrow's influence is gone, I will never stop loving him. I glanced up at the horizon and saw a warm, wistful sunset staring back at me. For some strange reason, seeing that made my chest tighten up. It reminded me of better times, time I wished I could return to. I feel like I've seen something like this before when I was with blank. Huh? Uh-oh. Ow. The odd vision that just shot through my mind left me with a sudden splitting headache. What was that? That place that I saw, where was it? A memory of a place I didn't recognize at all. And then a feeling that I had forgotten about someone important. A person close to me, a person that had always been by my side. It's probably Allan. But who was he? Was he? Allan had stopped walking and he pulled me close to him. I turned to him so I was bathed in the light of the sunset. So that he was. Oh. Crystals. Huh? For a split second, I thought I saw another person layered on top of him. And in that moment... What? 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 Oh. My breath catches in my throat and a burning sensation spreads through my body. Did he just stab her? Oh my goodness. Violent surge of pain and loss comes flooding out of me. I feel something within my chest, something that shouldn't be there. I'm too afraid to look down and see what it is. But I can't ignore such an alien sensation. I look down, there's a knife sticking out of my chest.
ごめん。もう、こうするしかないんだ。
You mean to have another choice? What was your other options? Why?
これは悪魔の道具だ。君の魂を抜くためのものだよ。
Does he feel like he needs to consume her soul before she loses it? Like, is that your other choice? Allan's eyes are glowing, as if in a dream, and they look like they're about to cry.
ごめん。俺が君の力を奪ってしまったんだ。悪魔の俺が神である君を抱いたりしたから。来年尽きるはずだった君の寿命が誤ったんだ。
My life? I was going to die next year? That's what I want to ask him, but I'm unable to form the words.
このままキューピッドでいれば君の魂は消滅する。だから。
Pushes the knife further into me. Bizarre pain I never felt before courses through my body.
だから。ごめん。こうするしかないんだ。
The knife still between us, Allan pulls me to him and kisses me. The kindest and cruelest kiss you could possibly imagine.
ごめん。ごめん。
Did he call her by another name if she just didn't register it? I know he said a name, but I can't hear it. Rain begins to fall. No, not rain. It's his tears. It's the first time I've ever seen Allan cry. He's always had a sad, lonely look in his eyes, but he never shown any real emotion in front of me, so I can never tell what he was really thinking. After the arrow's effects had worn off, I had so many questions I wanted to ask him, so many thoughts and feelings to share with him. And now here he is crying. But I can't speak to him anymore. I can't even breathe. Allan, why did you always look at me with such sadness? Why did we become lovers? Was it purely an accident? Why did you say my soul would disappear? Why wouldn't you ever say anything to me before now? My mind is fading. The world is turning black. We're not even halfway done with this route. I can't move my fingers. My breath has gone still. It's time to say goodbye, but the words are beyond me now. Allan. Hey, Allan. Did we meet somewhere once before? I know, right? They know each other. Quit teasing me. Are we going to go back and have a history lesson now? No end to our journey. Youth is a flower, but love is a fruit. Its fruit. Blessed is the man who waits for the fruit to ripen and picks it. The underworld, land of the demons. After claiming her soul, I've returned to the underworld where I belong. This is the safest place for me. As a high-ranking demon, no ordinary demon would dare approach me. Okay, so we're not going back and learning who they are. Of course, some are curious about the new soul I possessed, and they've been watching me from a safe distance. Eventually, 2 of them approached me.
Yo, Allan. 長らく戻ってこないと思ったら、そんなうまそうな魂を見つけてたのか。よく人間界から持ってこられたな。ここんとこ神の監視が厳しいってのに。
Not only did he take a soul, he took a goddess's soul.
本当にうまそうな魂だ。珍しい色をしてる。おい、一口くれねえか。
The lesser demon licked his lips. I held her soul tight as if to hide it from him.
ダメだ。これは俺の大事なコレクションなんだ。手を出そうとしたら食い散らすよ。
I glared at them both and they cowered back, but only for a moment. They couldn't seem to resist their desires. They stared at her soul with open greed.
そうケチくさいこと言うなよ、仲間だろ。何、少し舐めさせてくれるだけで。
He's going to kill you guys. I gave them the tiniest display of my power, and they took a step back.
冗談だよ。そんな怖い顔するなって。さすがにあんたと本気でやり合ったら、この冥界が壊れちまうよ。
Oh, I just noticed that that he has a wing now.
にしても、ここでそんな綺麗な魂を見るのは何百年ぶりだ。ほんと羨ましいことだよ。
The lesser demons eventually wandered away. Once I was alone again, I glanced at the soul. A Cupid that called herself Lynette Mirror. The soul I had been seeking for so long. I finally held it in my hands. Calling her name again. I caught out the name I knew her by and closed my eyes. What would you tell us?
消滅させずに済んだ。
Why won't they tell us what her name is yet? I know it's going to be something dramatic. We probably know who it is. I can't think of who it could be though. I opened a book containing the details about Cupid and looked up Godly Titles final chapter. This book of vanquishing was written by Satan. Only the most powerful demons could hold it in their hands.
救済という名で冥界に眠る悪魔を呼び起こすは神の愚行。従う月もまた敵とみなす。偽物の神に真理の扉は開かない。
I'm trying to understand. At first I was hoping to find a way to destroy the gods of Celestia.
混沌の悪魔こそが世の主役であり巡らせる力を持つべき万物。
Are you a demon of chaos with the power of reincarnation? I thought that if I destroyed Celestia, I could bring her back. That's why I sought a way to defeat Jupiter. Brought her back. I wonder if the person he's talking about is Lynette as she became Cupid later. I don't know. I'm so confused.
封じるのは思考の正当ではなく至極の鎖につながれた褒められし下劣。その橋にとらわれることが賢者と呼ばれる我ら。
We're speaking in riddles now. All I ever found was a way to seal the gods away. There was no way to destroy them, and no way for a demon to reach Celestia in the first place, so there was nothing I could do. But what I did find was something called Godly Titles Final Chapter.
役を得し神の時間は語るもおぞましい脈絡。誰もがたがえている与え奪う者の姿を犠牲を善とする財宝を消え失せる存在を。
This taught me that Cupid can only exist for a limited time. Their power disappears after about 400 years. I learned of this when I first became a greater demon. At that point, Cupid was 379 years old. So that's her real age. When you first became a greater demon, he became a greater demon 10 years ago, so she's 389 years old. So she must be currently 389. Because I think he was probably taking into consideration the 6 years she's been in the human realm. Basically, she didn't have very much time left. Oh, okay. So she would disappear in about 20 years. I studied the book of Vanquishing obsessively, looking for a way to save her. Still want to save her this whole time. Okay, so he didn't want to take away Cupid's bow for anything malicious. He wanted to take her away and make her a human, so she could live longer than 20 years. Then finally I found it. One chapter mentioned that Cupid would lose their bow if they fell in love with a human.
その力は解明できない。我が知る術もない。 他者を慈しむ不可解な感情、神の弓矢を失わせる恋と呼ばれる秩序。
Other than a god, the only other option was human. It was clear to me that a filthy demon like me could never fill such a role. That's why I wanted her to fall in love with someone else.
結局強硬手段に出ることしかできなかった。
It would anger the gods, and I would surely face retribution. It might even mean a war between Celestia and the underworld. But still, I carried out my plan because she was more important to me than the underworld itself. Who is she?
俺が消滅しても彼女さえ生きていればいい。
That's why I've gone through all of this. A way to make her live as a human. The best option was for her to fall in love with a human man. But I failed, just because I couldn't let her go.
俺が彼女を求めなければ。
But I just couldn't help myself, and now I'm suffering the consequences. But I'm not going to fail again. I will find a way to replace her soul in a human body. Oh. Is that how this is going to end? Then she can live on as a human. It'll work for sure this time.
人間として生きられれば魂自体の消滅は免れる。形が変わっても生きていられるはずだ。
If she were to disappear as a god, reincarnation would be impossible. Living out her life as Cupid would cause her to vanish from this world entirely. That's the sad fate awaiting any god who doesn't become a part of the Die Constants. That's simply their way. In order to protect their precious humans, they would dispose of their fellow gods.
あいつらのことは絶対に許さない。
That's why I have chosen rebellion. That is my way as a demon.
じゃあ行くか。
I wonder if he was a lesser god at one point. And to avoid his destruction, he became fallen. He became a demon. I held her soul tight and looked out over the human realm. I was planning to pay a visit to the human whose soul she would be inhabiting. He already has a target. But all of a sudden, I couldn't move. My heart was telling me to keep her close to me. But I can't do that. I don't want to fail again, do I?
ダメだ。俺のわがままなんても
本当に魂を抜いてきちゃったんだ。
I knew it. I knew you were a demon. Are you a demon? She's associated with him anyway. I turned around to see Clara standing there. Clara's Tia, the one person who's been helping me out in the human realm all this time. And a demon like me, a succubus. I knew it.
クラリス来てたのか。
I knew she was a succubus. I called it like in the last route in Allan's. No, wait. No, I think earlier in this route, whenever she was inquiring about them, she wasn't showing her true form. She seems like she prefers her human form.
ま、あんたから計画聞いてたからね。どうなったのかなって思って。
She took a closer look at what I was holding inside. As a fellow demon, she probably couldn't believe what she was seeing. Still, she helped me out, knowing exactly what my objective was. In order to help make Cupid fall in love, Claire had become her roommate. She showed Gil dreams and made him fall in love. She also pushed her to open up and make her think about love. So it was her fault for all of Gil's poor dreams about Lynette. Oh my goodness. I guess that would make sense that every time... That would explain why it was every time Claris was home that he would have these dreams. But even then...
ごめんな。君にも協力してもらったのに。結局、この方法しか取れなかった。
Oh man, now that I'm thinking of it, if Claris made him have those dreams, was she, Lynette, in his dreams, tormenting poor Gil? Oh my goodness, I feel so bad for him. This is all my fault. I was completely incompetent. Claris just shook her head.
大したことじゃないわ。 これからあなたがすることに比べれば。本当に転生させるの？
So yeah, he is a demon of chaos with the power of reincarnation.
は、
Didn't they say that that is the only true savior of the world? I don't know what that means, but
いっそ打点させちゃえばずっと一緒にいられるのに。この子が人間になればあなたとはもう結ばれない。悪魔と人間は違いすぎる。それでも転生させるの？
because he hates what he is, I don't think he can make her a demon.
は、俺の望みは彼女の魂が生き続けてくれることだけだから。
I couldn't ask for anything more than that. After all, that was my original plan all along. I only lost sight of my goal after she made me fall in love with her again and lose my focus. Again? Who is she? My dear love, I don't dare wish for us to be together again. I just want you to survive.
本当にその子が大切なのね。
当然だよ。
Because she's my...
じゃあ、行ってくる。
Why will you not still tell us? I don't understand. I stood up, still clutching her soul close to me. The preparations are already complete. All I need to do now is bring her soul. Wanting to keep her with me is just my ego talking.
今度こそ、人間としての幸せを。
I hope you can live happily. Even a demon that has no faith in the gods is allowed to pray once in a while. I flapped my one wing and headed off towards the human realm. Into the far-off skies. To a place I can no longer remain myself, I carry her.
恋愛色彩理論でいうところのマニア。変質狂的な愛。病的な愛ね。でも、どうして神を愛してるのかしら。悪魔なのに。なんて。つい癖が出ちゃった。会社で働くって意外と楽しかったのよね。きっとそれはあの子と一緒だったから。アラン、やり遂げなさいよ。私も力になるわ。必ず。
The end. Just me if you can. What is she going to look like? Oh, obviously, I think even if she gets put into another human, I think the sprite of her will still be Cupid, but I guess we'll have to find out because that's in the next episode. And we are stopping here because, yeah, I can't have another CG rival with that one of him stabbing her because that is so dramatic and going to bring up a lot of questions. Anyway. I am so curious of what's going to happen. I enjoy, like, this is my favorite route so far because it's just, it's predictable in the fact that I can figure out some things like perhaps Clarice is a succubus, but I have no idea who Lynette actually is and why Allan wants to save her. And I am dying to find out. And because of the suspense of it all, like, there wasn't really any suspense in any of the other routes. It was just waiting for them to get together. Oh, they finally got together. They finally got through all their hardships and confusion and misunderstandings. And now we're finally at the end. And then this one, they're going past that. They've already fallen in love again, apparently. He's killed her, is going to reincarnate her. What is going to happen? He wants to kill Jupiter and all the gods for that matter, but he can't. So he's retaliating, he's rebelling against him. But why? He's a demon. So anyway, that is the end of this. If you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe for the rest. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.